Hi, welcome. I'm Nicole. Today I'd like to guide you through a flow focused on breath. Breath is one of the most important pieces of trauma recovery because oftentimes when someone experiences trauma, their breath and their bodies become misaligned. Through yoga, through breath work, people are often able to realign their body, their breath, their heart rate, and it helps promote healing through trauma. So let's begin. I'd like to start with something called belly breathing. A lot of you probably have heard of this already, but for trauma yoga, we'll start with our hand on our belly, our hand on our heart. If that feels uncomfortable, if that's something you don't like, you can put both hands on your heart, you can put both hands on your knees, whatever works for you. I like to do belly and heart. Sorry, we have a visitor. So start by taking a big breath in. Take a big breath in. You should feel your chest or your belly expand. Breath out. You should feel it lower and shrink. When focusing on belly breath, you want to feel your belly be the one to expand. A lot of times with short breath, we feel it in our heart or in our chest, but we want to move to our belly. Breathe in again, feel the air fill your belly. Just notice what happens in your body as you breathe. You might feel some resistance. And that's okay, just notice it. Some people who experience trauma have a hard time getting their breath past their throat. So wherever you can get your breath, you can get it all the way down to your chest, all the way down to your belly, through different areas of your body, wherever you can feel it the most. On your breath in, take a big breath, count to 4. And breathe out as slow as possible through your mouth. Breathe in, feel your belly rise. Breathe out as slow as possible. This next breath in, we're going to do some sun breathing. Breathe your arms up all the way to the sky. Float your arms down as slow as possible. Breathe in arms all the way up to the sky. Float them down as slow as possible. Do 3 more times in your own breath. This time, similar sunrise, you can place your hands on your knees and your breath in. Pull them with some resistance towards your hips. And as you breathe out, imagine pushing the energy out of your body, pushing back towards your knees. Breathe in with some resistance. Breathe out back towards your knees. Three more times. You have the option here to keep practicing breath with your belly breathing, sun breathing with your arms, sun breathing with your hips and your knees. If you'd like to continue moving through a flow, I'm going to guide you through a quick sun variation. This is just another way to match body and breath. We'll start at the top of your mat. Take a big breath in, raise your arms up. And your breath out, forward fold all the way down to the floor. Your breath in, halfway lift. You can keep your hands on the floor, your ankles, or your shins. And your breath out, forward fold. Breathe in, raise your arms all the way up. Breathe out, Tadasana. So this is one of the most basic ways to just match breath to movement. Same thing, just breathe in, arms up. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, arms all the way up to sky. Breathe out, Tadasana. You can repeat that as many times as you'd like. Breathe in, arms up. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, arms up. Breathe out, Tadasana. This time we'll move into a sun variation. Breathe in, arms up. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Here you will step both legs back. You can either stay in a high plank, drop your knees, drop your feet, whichever works best for you, and lower all the way to the floor. And your breath in, you can move into a cobra, which is just raising a little bit from your low back. Or you can move into an upward facing dog, which is pushing all the way into the mat and lifting up a little bit. And on your breath out, moving into a downward facing dog. Lots of options. You can pedal your feet, you can hang out here, you can take a couple breaths, or breathe in, look up to your hands. Breathe out, you can walk, hop, jump, all the way up to the front of your mat into a forward fold. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, arms all the way up to the sky. Breathe out, Tadasana. Let's do that one more time on your own breath. Breathe in, arms up. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Some people like to hop back here, so what that would look like is putting your weight into your hands. Step back is always an option. And then pushing into the floor and hopping back into a plank position. Stay here or lower your knees. Come all the way down to your mat. When your breath in, cobra or upward facing dog. Breath out, push up then back into a downward facing dog. Breathe in, looking up to your hands. Breathe out, hop or walk. So a hop might look like bending your knees deeply and then just kind of like leaping forward up to the front of your mat. Breathe in, all the way up to the sky. Breathe out, Tadasana. You can do that as many times as you'd like. That's just one variation of sun. There's several others. I'll guide you through one more. Breathe in, arms up. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, forward fold. This time on your breath in, you could step your right leg back into a lunge position. You can either stay here, you can drop your knee, you can rise up into a high lunge. Your knee can be raised here too if you like. That's on your breath in. And then on your breath out, moving back into that low lunge. Stepping back into a high plank. And you can always lower your knees here or keep them up as you lower down to the mat. Some people like to pause here and then move straight up into a upward facing dog. That's an option as well if you prefer. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Breathe in, look up to your hands. Hop or walk up to the top. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, arms up. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, forward fold. And here we'll just use the opposite leg. Step back into a low lunge. Again, you can lower your knee here. You can lower that foot, or you can keep it raised. You could stay here in a low lunge, or you can rise up into a high lunge. Option to have your knee down here as well. Breath out, back to that low lunge. Step back into a high plank. Again, you can have your knees down all the way down to the floor, or pausing and lifting up into cobra or upward facing dog. Breath out, downward facing dog. Look up to your hands, big breath in. Breath out, step or hop to the top of your mat, forward fold. Breathe in, arms all the way up. Breathe out, Tadasana. So you might be feeling pretty warm in your body, that's totally normal. If not, that's okay too. Just kind of notice your breath, if it's difficult, if it's easy. Notice if there's any blockages. I encourage you at the end of your flow, whatever you prefer to do, whether it's just kind of breathing with your arms, moving through a full sun, moving through one of the variations with the lunges, or any of the other variations they have. And just kind of noticing as you match your breath with movement, what happens for your body. If there's any difficulty, just be patient with yourself. It takes practice to match breath and movement. It doesn't have to look exactly the way I did it. It can look like 2 to 3, 4 breaths per movement. It can look like half a breath per movement. Just being mindful of matching breath with movement. As you do this, you might notice more awareness of your body, become more comfortable with breath. As you calm down, most practices end with a Shavasana, where you'll be able to really start to slow your breath, calm your thinking, allow your mind to exist in your body. However you prefer to end your practice is fine. Thank you for sharing this breath practice with me today.